Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. What up, people? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Freedom Friday show on Tim Black at Night. Looks like I got a call in the queue, so I guess the phone lines are working. And, yeah, let's see what we got going here. Let's see what we got going, man. Yeah. All right. Feeling pretty good. What up, everybody? How you doing? Once again, my name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night show. This is Freedom Friday, the show where you get to call up and you get to be a part of the conversation. Phone number, let me put that on the screen now. Get that phone number on the screen real quick. And make sure that's available for everybody who wants to call up. How you guys doing? Are you ready for it? There it is. One more time. Put it up. There we go. Phone number is 319-527-6212. That's what it is. So, what do I have? What do we have on a Freedom Friday, guys? All right, I'll tell you what we got on Freedom Friday. We got a couple of stories, a couple of things, right, before we get to phone calls that we could talk about. How y'all like that Magabomber? Y'all like that Magabomber? How's that? How's that going? Are you feeling the Magabomber? Yeah, had to go get that guy. Listen, guys. Listen. I like a good mystery as much as anybody else, right? I'm not one of those people that says we can't have active imaginations. We can't come up with scenarios. Of course, when you have a government that makes up stuff, such as Russia, like they're the most dangerous thing to American democracy. When you have, entire cities, thousands upon thousands of people being, poisoned by their own state government. When you have corporations, government agencies, politicians all lying, when you have all these things happening, it's easy to, to look at a scenario, look at a situation, and start crafting your own scenarios. But, all I'm saying, guys, is when we look at these things, such as the Magabomber, to me, I like looking at the most likely, outcome, the most likely scenario, because to me, the most likely scenario is usually the right scenario, right? You know what I mean? Typically if something gets stolen, and you own a store, something gets stolen in your store, it's the people that work there. If it's not the people that work there, it was somebody who, came in the store, right? It's usually an inside job. When I was in high school, I worked security. That's just how it works. It's not elaborate. Oh, maybe people are tunneling in to the store, going under the ground. Maybe they got a time lock, release mechanism, and a keypad that they punch into. And I'm not saying these things don't happen. What I'm saying is 95% of the time, it's something very basic. It's a disgruntled employee that walks in and out of the front door like everybody else. Now, if you want to pay a lot of money to somebody to come tell you something funky or something fancy, you can get real fancy with it. So that brings me back to the Magabomber, guys. Come on, guys. I know you want it to be more than it is. But to me, it just seemed like too many moving pieces for it to be, this thing that's made up to trick everyone. One of the reasons was, who the hell, what government agency want to have like 10 people involved in a plot and got to keep all the balls in the air at the same time? Nobody. Nobody wants, if you're saying it's all made up, you got to prove that Biden never received a bomb. You got to, or a fake bomb, or a bomb that didn't go off, and Obama didn't get one, and Clinton didn't get one, and Robert De Niro didn't get one, and Maxine Waters didn't get one, and you got to keep going down the list. Eric Holder, that was a lie. John Brennan, that was a lie. It's like you got to have all of these lies sold up, and that's hard to do. It's just too much going on. The government, by and large, is pretty lazy, and I don't think they really want to have high-profile people that all have to lie and all have to be on script. I just don't think that's how it works. At least not for me. That's not what I thought. So when I saw that it was Cesar Sayaka, Soyosa, Salusa, or whatever the hell his name is, I was like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it for what it's worth, guys. I'll buy it for what it's worth. Some people are mad as hell, man. Listen, guys, look, the Trump supporters are mad because this guy obviously was a Trump supporter, right? And I know if you believe it, Tim, I don't believe it. I get it. Okay, I understand you don't believe it. But they're mad because this makes Donald Trump look bad. See, I don't think it makes Trump look bad as far as this guy. Trump does other things that make him look bad. I don't think some guy deciding he wants to intimidate people or scare people or whatever on Trump's behalf without being asked, I don't think that's Trump's fault necessarily, right? And I know that's not popular. I'm not saying it because I want it to be popular. I'm saying it because I believe it to be true. But the Trump supporters are now trying to say, well, because Cesar, the pipe bomber, right, the Magabomber, because once upon a time he was a leftist, or he voted Democrat, and now he voted for Trump. Now we're going to pretend he didn't vote for Trump because he used to vote Democrat. It's like everything is political. Why come he just can't be a guy with mental problems? Y'all love doing that for white guys who shoot up places. First thing you say, mental problems. It's got mental problems. Black guy shoot up something, killer, thug. White guy shoot up something, mental problems. But why come Cesar can't just be a guy with mental problems? Why it gotta be he represents Trump, or he used to be on the left? Why he just can't be a screwball? Why can't this be a nut job? Why can't just be a scumbag? Why can't he just can't be a fucking terrorist? But see, no, he can't be, because you done put your foot in your mouth is why. Because you done built this thing up to mean that this was going to be something that you could smear other people with. See? Yeah, you didn't expect Tim Black to call it straight, did you? You expected me to pile on. I'm not going to pile on. I just believe that this guy speaks for himself, whether he was on the left or on the right. I said the same thing I would say if he voted for Bernie. I'm saying the same thing, all right? I discredit Trump for his rhetoric, that hot-ass rhetoric, his rhetoric of enticing people, and he's still enticing the hate. He's still doing it. He's still causing uproar, right? And I'm not talking about the stuff he should cause uproar on, like the bad trade deal, or why the hell are we selling to Afghanistan, or, a number of issues that he could be, raising a roof on. And I'm trying to remember, there's a policy that he recently put in place that was actually pretty good. Yeah, he actually did a pen signing recently that didn't get a lot of play, and since I've been in sort of influx, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to get to it next week. So anyway, that's how I feel about the Magabomber. I'm glad they caught this guy. I don't believe it's a big thing, psyop or whatever. I don't believe it was a false flag. I believe we have nutcases. It's sort of like the people who love to say false flag, or they say psyop, when it's a guy who shoots, 20 people in somewhere in Florida. But when 50 people get shot on the weekend in Chicago, they don't say shit. It's just, well, where's the PSYOP references? Where's the, like, you know, elaborate schemes? When it's like a bunch of people get shot in the hood, you don't have anything. It's only when it's a bunch of white guys get shot, you go, oh man, this got to be, this thing did this. Nah, sometimes people do shit. I come from a background where things happen. I'm used to people getting shot. I'm used to crazy people running down the street with knives occasionally. Like, I grew up, like, I spent my teenage years living on my own and seeing people do crazy shit. So I was out in the streets, right, watching people do shit. So I spent my early years, man, so very little really surprises me. All right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. There are people that will do crazy shit. They don't have to be mind controlled. They already, look, half of America is medicated. The other half don't know they need to be medicated or are undiagnosed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from? You get where I'm coming from? That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, we all have issues. We all have issues. Look where we live. Look at the world that we live in, y'all. Look at this world. We all have issues. If you don't have post-traumatic stress disorder, you ain't paying attention. If you work for a living, if you are middle class or lower middle class or live under the poverty line, if you live in a bad neighborhood, if you ever been abused, if you ever saw your parents be abused, if you've been exposed to death, you ever been exposed to mayhem, you ever been so stressed out because you don't know where your next meal is coming from, like all these things that we deal with. I mean, dude, like, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not like suffering with your own mental situation, I don't even know if I trust you, because that means you ain't lived yet. See, I just believe that we've been exposed by so much stuff. By the time you are an adult, if you're not sheltered, if you're not someone who's had it easy, right, then, you know, you are someone who's experienced enough that you have your own issues. And some of us don't handle that well. Some of us act out. Some of us will go over the deep end. This is what I believe. So I base how I look at life based on my experiences, just like you do. But if you experience what I've experienced, if you've seen what I've seen, then not much gonna shock you. So that's what I think about the Magabomber, y'all. That's what I think about it. All right. Now I want to jump to Megyn Kelly. But before I go to Megyn Kelly, let me address this. Because I made some changes to the show, and we're still making changes because, well, we like to keep doing what we're doing. We would like to keep doing this thing that we're doing, which is speaking truth to power, fighting the good fight, being a media company, being a journalist, news organization, being also entertaining. All these things that we're doing, it's like a dream to me to be able to do it. And I would like to keep doing it. It's ironic to me that I can do this content that I do for so long that I've been doing it. And there are people who support what I do. Man, I want to give a shout out to everybody who supports what I do. Thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for supporting me, whether it was going to the People's Summit, whether it was going to the Unity March, whatever it was, whether it was going on a progressive comedy tour, whatever it was, whether it was helping me get my studio back up and running, whatever it is, man, I appreciate you folks, my people, my family, Tim Black's Wolfpack. I appreciate y'all for being here. But I work real hard. I've been working real hard at this. I worked harder at this than I worked at anything else in my life. I gave up my career. I gave it all up to do this because I love it. This is what I want to do. And I want it to matter that I lived. I want it to matter what I said and what I did. I want it to mean something. I want it to help the world. I want it to be something more than me just making money and buying shirts to wear to work and buying suits to wear to work and being able to go to the game. Like, I want my life to mean something. I got these talents. I want to use them for something that matters. Right? So that's what I'm doing. But I find it really pissed me the hell off, man. That I say, look, guys, I'm not going to be able to live stream on Facebook anymore because Facebook censors me. Facebook is not my friend. Facebook, really though, those are enough reasons. Those two reasons I just gave you are enough reasons not to be on Facebook live streaming every day. And not only every day, twice a day. For like, I don't know, 2 years or whatever the hell, right? But it's also not good because I'm on Roku now where people who buy Roku can watch me. And I can make, if you watch my show on Roku, it helps the show because they have commercials on Roku. I don't have to ask you for money. If you watch my show on Roku, you know, Roku, if they run an ad, then I'll get something for you watching the show on Roku. Same thing with YouTube. Not my live streams, because YouTube has demonetized my live streams. I don't make any money from live streams. And now right now I'm telling you more than most people need to know because it's really no one's business. But I will say this. It's really fucked up. And I say fucked up. It's fucked up that I can put out all this content for all these years. And when I say, hey, I'm making a change, no one remembers all the free shit. No one remembers all the content. Now, I got people in this business that I respect. They haven't been putting out live streams on YouTube, live streams on Facebook, live streams on Periscope, live streams on Twitch. Like, live stream, like they just be like one place. They be like one place, and then they have a pay gate. I've been on 4 or 5 platforms for about 1.5 years at least. No one remembers it. They say you don't treat your users right. They don't appreciate the 1.5 or 2 years that I was on Facebook, not helping my show at all, just doing it to reach people, doing it to get free content. They don't appreciate it. They say, the fact that you're not doing that anymore, fuck you, Tim Black. Go to hell, Tim Black. You should have kept doing what you were doing. You not doing it makes you bad. If you were one of those people giving me grief, stabbing me in the back because I decided in order to keep up, to be able to perform and do this show, I need to cut down all the places I'm at and just be a couple of places because it helps the show. Your favorite shows are not the ones that you would watch if you watch TV. They don't be on 5 networks. Why do you think they're not on 5 networks? Why? Because they're assholes, right? No, it's not because they're assholes. They're not on 5 networks because it's better if you're going to have 1,000 people watch, you have 1,000 people watch in one place. Not 1,000 people watch, not 100 people here and 50 people here and 200 people there. That's not how, that doesn't help your show. You need to be one place, build a following one place, and be able to say, hey, I got 1,000 people tuning into my show. That's how you do it. But once again, guys, this is stuff that's boring. You don't want to know this shit. No one cares. Make your show good, Tim. Give out good content. Be entertaining. Be real. Be honest. Be truthful. Give out good information. You don't care about this stuff. But I'm sorry, guys, to bore the hell out of the people that don't care about it. But I gotta say it because there are people who do care. There are some people who have been complaining all week. All week. Because they say Tim Black's not right. Because he took his free content and put it somewhere that's harder for me to get it. Well, you know what? I'm sorry if you have an iPad. I'm sorry if you don't have the latest whatever technology. It's not my fault. It's not my fault, man. I didn't make these platforms. All these platforms are robbing us anyway. Do you realize that? I mean, I'm a fool because I really should have my own platform. And that's why I'm trying to develop my own stuff. Because they can shut me down tomorrow. So you're upset with me about not investing more time in platforms I don't own, that I have no control over. They're silencing and censoring and kicking other people off on a whim on a daily basis. And I got to watch people who I've known for years shit on me publicly because I'm not going to continue to allow that to happen. I'm not going to continue to put myself at risk and be vulnerable to people, to platforms that have no respect for what I do. They have no respect for our politics. They have no respect for free speech. They use us, and then they kick you to the curb. And your solution, the way that you deal with that, all of that, is to blame the little guy. Blame a little guy out of his basement and say he's the bad guy. Not Facebook. Facebook's not the bad guy. No, Tim Black's the bad guy because he won't allow himself to get bent over the table every night by Facebook without a reach around, without a kiss, without a bottle of wine or nothing. Yeah, that makes sense. Woo! Way to go there, Sparky. Way to go, Sparky. I love your deductive reasoning on that. Yeah, way to go. That's like blaming voters who were kicked off voting rolls for not voting. That's like blaming the kid who gets kicked out of school for having natural hair, for having natural hair. Like, that's like blaming women for getting felt up because they got breasts. I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous shit right here. So this rant is to shame those people. I want to shame you. Shame you for being so short-sighted and not knowing who your friends are. For you to say I don't respect my people when I've been doing all this for my people, just because you have to change a little, that means I don't love you because you have to make a change. You know how many changes I've had to make to keep doing this shit? Oh, I've got to change the way I get his free content now. I hate Tim for doing that. Well, you know what? If that's it, if that's all it takes for you to say fuck me because I no longer want to live stream for free on Facebook, I'd rather be at a platform that's treating me a little bit better and try to also build up a platform that I partly own. If that makes me an asshole, well, you know what? I don't think you know what an asshole is. In fact, and also for the record, all these other guys that you love, they don't do this shit I do. They're not, like, I'm not even going to name names. We know who they are. They're on network platforms, and they don't live stream for free other places. They just don't. And not to mention, they get a lot more donations than I do. They get a lot more support than I do. So we really don't want to have this conversation, do we? No, we really don't. But what we do want to do is complain. I wish that everybody had $1 billion, well, $1 million. I wish everybody lived comfortably. It ain't my fault we don't. I wish that we all had freedom of expression, but we don't. I wish we all had freedom of choice, but we don't. I wish we all had the latest technology, but we don't. I wish a lot of things, but it's not my fault it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not my fault that we got a crooked system. It's not my fault. Why the fuck you think I do this? I do this because I know it's not the way it should be. But don't go blaming the people that are fighting the fight because you don't like the way they're fighting the fight. You know what? All of you who are complaining about Tim Black, you have the ability to do the same thing I did. 6 years ago, I picked up a mic. I picked up a cheap webcam that cost me $30. I picked up the cheapest mic I could find. And you know what I did? Every day, with only 1 or 2 or 5 people watching, and some people who watch this show right now, they were watching that long when there was 5 of us every night for 2 hours I would live stream. So for all those people that are shitting on me, you know what you could go do? You could go do exactly what I did. You could go start small. You could start spreading the message. You could start making your voice count, because that's what I did. And if a fat, overweight, black guy with a lazy eye could do it day in and day out, and day in and day out, day in and day out, and day in and day out, you can too. So stop blaming me because you don't think you got enough reach, or stop blaming me because it ain't the way you want it to be. You have the same ability that I had. I didn't just start. I had a full-time job. I would get off work and I would come home and speak truth to power. You can do the same thing. So don't give me that shit. Back with my wife and my kids were like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? When nobody believed in what I was doing, I did it. Now, if you don't have the guts or the courage to do it, don't blame me. You can go do it. In fact, I encourage you to do it. You should do it. But what you should not do is hold me to some crazy high standard when all you do is sit back and watch. This world, this fight needs everybody. If you ain't going to support the people fighting, and all you're going to do is complain about how they're not fighting the way you think they should fight, they don't fight the issues you want them to fight, you get in the game. Why you think I got in the game? Go get in the game. There's room. Make room. Make your own room. Elbow your way in, man. Elbow your way in. The country needs you. The world needs you. But what we don't need is another person shitting on the people that are doing it just because they're having a bad day or it's not going the way they want. All right. Always somebody complaining. Oh, you didn't do this the way I would have done it. You don't do shit. What do you do? You didn't do this the way you should have done it. I would have done it. You would? Well, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Go ahead and build 100,000 subscribers. Go ahead. It's easy to do, man. I'm sure you can build a huge following. Go right ahead. See how easy it is. When people get mad at you every day and tell you to go to hell, and people call you names that you just is totally. You can't even read the comments. I want to see you do it. Let's see you have thick skin. Call you every name under the book, under the sun. Everything except nice names. Talk about your mama, your kids, your wife, your car. Whew. All right. Now I want to talk about Megyn Kelly. Because now I'm really pumped up. I'm going to tell you this, man. Megyn Kelly was not fired because she disrespected black folks. Because if Megyn Kelly was going to be fired for that, she wouldn't be working. She wouldn't have been working there to be fired. Megyn Kelly been disrespecting black folks for 3, 4, 5 years. That's what she is known for in the black community, disrespecting black folks. So, like, don't give me this, oh, well, Megyn Kelly, there's another free speech advocate who did another person who was destroyed by the political correctness. Nah. She was destroyed by ratings, dumbass. By ratings. That's what got Megyn Kelly. If she had high ratings, she'd still have a show. That's what I believe. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I think. Because I think they knew what they were getting when they got her. Sort of like Roseanne. But see, the difference between Megyn Kelly and Roseanne is a comedian. Comedians, especially ones like Roseanne, they say things that are edgy. That's their job. That's what they do. I criticize Roseanne for what she said. I think she need to lay off calling black people apes. She did that twice. She associated black people with apes 2 times. I don't think she should have lost the show. I would on the record and said that back when she did it. But I definitely don't support Megyn Kelly. And I think if you're going to be standing up for somebody, you should be standing up for Roseanne. Roseanne was on Twitter. She wasn't on her show when she did it. Come on, guys. She wasn't even at work. But there are these people, when I said it, they act like, oh, what Roseanne did was just as bad. Nah, it wasn't. She wasn't at work. She was on her own personal time. And she's a comedian. I think comedians can get a license to say stupid jokes or bad jokes. That's part of being a comedian. I am kind of one. I kind of know what I mean. I kind of get it. I've done comedy live and been paid a little bit for it. So, anyway, the point is this. Megyn Kelly got fired. I'm glad she got fired. And I hope she rot in hell. Joking. I don't wish death on anyone. But I do wish her not to be able to be in front of people and spew that nonsense, man. Yeah. So here goes my point. Here's the other thing. Cenk Uygur put out a tweet about defending Megyn Kelly. And this is what I say, guys. There are people who love to chime in whenever there's an issue about black people, but they really don't respect us. Because there's no way you chime in and say, hey, we got to defend freedom of speech for Megyn Kelly. Even though she's disrespectful and shit to black people, this is like her third, fourth time just totally disrespecting black people. But I need to jump out there and say this thing to defend Megyn Kelly. Look, man, I find Cenk Uygur to be an opportunist in a lot of ways. And he was fully on display with Megyn Kelly. Because Megyn Kelly, look, we have a difference of opinion. Okay, I give you that. But I'm telling you guys, you can't be somebody who has a network that you run, that every time I turn around, if there's an issue like somebody black gets shot, or if there's a barbecue Becky, or if there's a pool pass Pete, or if there's the woman at the bodega, what is it, Caroline, or calling the line Caroline, or Becky Ann on the van, I don't know. Whenever somebody white calls the cops and does something really stupid to black people, and we say, look, it looks like it's racist, they're one of the first people to rake up hundreds of thousands of views denouncing it. But when it's Megyn Kelly, who disrespects black people on TV for money, who's a professional, who's a journalist, how the hell are you going to defend that? That's what I'm saying, man. How do you defend it? How are you coming down on private citizens who do something one time? Like Barbecue Becky, she didn't call the cops on black people 4 and 5 times in a 3-year span. She called the cops one time. One time she saw some people cooking out. She's like, why don't you guys go to another place to cook out? And people was like, hey, we're going to cook out here. And mind your damn business, Becky. And she's like, I'm calling the cops. And after she called the cops, she got dragged all across the internet. She went viral in a very bad way, and that was the last time she called the cops. I bet you now, if a black person walk up to her and punch her in the stomach and steal a purse, she won't even call the cops. She'll just be like, well, I'm good. Sometimes black people got to punch you in the stomach. She'd be afraid to call the cops now on black people. So why can you come down on Barbecue Becky? Understand what I'm saying? You can't come down on Barbecue Becky, a private citizen, not a journalist, well, not, just living her everyday life, who does something bad and also stupid, right? And you make money off of it, and you talk shit about them, and you laugh on your show. But Megyn Kelly, a professional journalist for 2 decades, makes irresponsible, on-purpose comments that are harsh and bigoted about black people. Not once, not twice, 3 or 4 times. And what do? You go on Twitter and you put out a viral tweet supporting her, saying she should have freedom of speech and we shouldn't fire her. We should have a conversation about it because people need to learn. Well, Barbecue Becky needed to learn, but instead of her learning something, you were very fine with destroying her life. But we don't want to destroy Megyn Kelly's life, do we? Nah, we want to treat her special, because Megyn Kelly is special. She's a special kind of witch, is the fuck what she is. She's a racist witch. That's what she is. And you are defending racism and bigotry and far feigning of apology. A fake apology. That's what you're defending, Cenk Uygur. And so I'm calling this shit out. Because we don't need you, Cenk Uygur, pretending that you understand black people plight, what's going on with black people, always speaking on our issues. And then when one of the worst offenders in media, I mean, who's worse? Laura Ingraham? Yeah, Laura Ingraham, her, Tucker Carlson, Like there's like Ben Shapiro, like these people. You defend these people? Nah, man, you don't get to ride for us and ride for that shit too. You don't get to say, oh, we need freedom of speech and defend horrible statements. The Santa is white shit. The Jesus is white shit. The talking down the blacks. What she did to D.L. Hughley that time he came on? The Black Lives Matter bashing, the black on black crime bullshit, her and Bill O'Reilly, these fuckheads, these people are horrible. And the last thing, the cherry on top with the blackface, oh, I didn't know anything's wrong with blackface. I had no idea that black people have been mocked for hundreds of years because they have dark skin. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I didn't even know that existed. What, me? I didn't know. I'm just a dumb little blind girl. I don't know these things. Of course, I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm a professional, so I should know a little about history, but I don't know anything. I had to be educated by Roland Martin to understand that black people have had it bad because they black. I don't even see color. That's why I'm wearing purple and green and red and orange all at the same time, because I don't see color. Who's that Negro? What are they doing here? So I have a problem with that anyway. I hope I made myself clear. Yeah. And look, guys, and here's another thing. Like I told somebody on Twitter, man, you don't gotta agree with me, but all I'm doing is telling you how I feel, telling you what I've discovered, or telling you what I know. That's all we do here. You don't have to agree with it. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. And where I come from is not a position of hate. Like, I don't hate Megyn Kelly because she's a white lady. I don't hate her because she's got blonde hair. I don't hate her because she looks like she's had a lot of plastic surgery. I don't hate her at all. I dislike her. I think she's a bigot. But none of that is based on her physically or ethnically or racially. It's based on her actions. Get it? That's the deal. It's actions, man. So anyway. So it is what it is. It really is what it is. Now, I got a couple videos that'll be coming your way. I did a video about the Magabomber. I think it's pretty great. It's on my YouTube channel. If you want to support this channel, please go watch it on YouTube when you get an opportunity. Watch it a couple times. And I think it's such a great video, you'll want to share it with people because we really did some cutting edge type stuff that TJ and I, my son TJ and I, for TBTV and TTL Media, we did some different stuff that we've been trying to work on to try to up our production game. Because our goal is to not just say, hey man, we want a seat at the table, but to earn it. To actually put out content that is great. Not just good, not all right, but content that is great, that is memorable. And speaking of memorable content, here goes that video. In the day they sent bombs to Joe Biden, Robert De Niro, man. They tried to kill Robert De Niro. They tried to kill Jimmy the Gint. They tried to kill Sam Ace Rothstein. Yeah, but nobody got killed. Bombs didn't even go off, yo. Domestic terrorism. Man, you missed the whole point. This was a terror attack. Are you paying attention to this? Yeah. A loaf of bread could be a sandwich if you cut it into slices and stuck a burger between them. I don't even know what that means, man. No burger, no sandwich. No boom, no bomb. It could have went off, it was a bomb. Right? This was a terror attack. Act of terror. This wasn't an act of terror. This is an act of desperation on behalf of the Democrats. That's it. It's a false flag. False flag is what it was. You want the sympathy vote. Yeah, get sympathy. Oh, they tried to kill us. Get everybody to vote Democrat. No, 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 no. You just don't care, man. You don't care. Are you American? You always sticking up for the Are you American? It's because you are a Democrat. Look, I voted Green Party. Jill Stein, Baraka. You ever vote Republican? Hell no. Vote for no Republicans. Democrat. Did everybody who got bombed or attempted bombs, right? Democrat. Only people that Trump picked on. People that Trump was calling out. People that Trump was putting down. Those are the people. Just admit it. It's probably one of your Trump cult members doing the dirty business for Trump. Taking care of Trump, defending Trump. It's probably one of your alt-left snowflakes, you know, PC, whatever you people are. You know, those guys. Well, those guys did it. Well, those guys had to do it. That's who did it. Oh, but conservatives shoot up black churches and they blow up abortion clinics. That's what they do. Yeah, but Scalise's an asshole, though. You just need to stop watching CNN. All right. No, I'll admit it. Yep. We don't know who did it. It could have been anyone. Mm-hmm. That's fair. But I'm not going to admit nothing. It was a false flag, man. Oh, okay. All right. What's with this? Where are you going with all this? Oh, going to the post office. Got some stuff to mail. Post office? When I was coming in, I saw you had a package on the doorstep, man. I'm good. You got mail. I'm good. You don't think I did nothing, do you? Oh, man. I wasn't thinking that. Watch too many movies, bro. You're my boy. FBI? I got a mysterious package. All right, guys. All right, guys. So anyway, thank you for checking that out. That's a video TJ and I put together, and it took us a little while to do it. We had a great time doing it, though, and I hope you enjoyed it. Right. I want to go to call that's in that queue. We got a 704 number in the queue. Hey, 704, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Sam, what's going on today?
I'm good.
Renata from Charlotte. How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. Who's this?
Thank God. This is just Chris Renata from Carolina.
Okay, what's up, man?
All right. Sorry. I was actually agreeing with a lot you were mentioning earlier, because it was funny you mentioned that whole situation with Cenk Uygur and him actually taking up from Megyn Kelly, because I remember him and Anna on Plenty of a Show totally behind the idea of Alex Jones not being on YouTube anymore. Now, I'm not a big Alex Jones fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel if you have one ranting racist idiot talking absurdities about things that are racially insensitive and uncaring about a group, then you should do that all across the board, not just because one of them offended you particularly during an RNC event. So it does come off a little bit half-assed, and it comes off hypocritical in a lot of ways. Also, I mean, there's a lot of things I've heard on that show that seems a little half-assed and backwards. Because, I mean, they mention all the time about how the Democrats and Republicans are both owned by their donors, how they don't make any decisions without their donors, but yet we feel that if the Democrats get back in power again, something will actually be done. Trump will actually have to worry about the power of I can't even say it, Tim. The power of Pelosi. Oh yeah, they're doing really hard trying to stop those judges, right? So that's hilarious. It's just so funny. It's just like you said here all the time, and they speak about how they screwed Bernie, how they basically made Jill Stein almost invisible until like the last couple months of the election. And then on top of that, they talk about how basically you have this whole structure in which the most weakest and the most sellout and the most corrupted of the Democrats are actually buried like a fucking mole, basically, or a parasite inside our most democratic, most bluest states. And this is why it's so hard to get them out. Pelosi, Feinstein, Cuomo, Schumer, all of them are buried in the most bluest of our areas, and it makes it so hard to get them the hell out to begin with, because they are basically blue dogs, but they're posing as progressive. Now, there's a couple of things that I actually had a positive feeling about this week. I don't know if you got a chance to watch one of Jimmy Dore's videos about Julian Assange getting that standing ovation at the TED Talk. I thought that was pretty freaking awesome, because it shows that, unfortunately, people know that, you know, the media that we look at today are basically just a bunch of rich people telling us what they want to hear or what they want us to know. Meanwhile, you have actual journalists like Julian Assange, people like yourself, people like Nico House, who have to be forced to actually make your own mediums, make your own news, because what you're already on is basically trying to push you out. And it's sad. It's incredibly sad. It just shows that at this point right now, we do have to actually make our own news and be our own watchdogs, because the people that are on TV right now are millionaires. And you can't expect a millionaire to actually know or give a damn about what's going on in Flint, Michigan, or to a bunch of Native Americans in Standing Rock, when their stocks and their businesses are doing so damn well. So one last thing, Tim. How do you feel, and I know this is kind of jumping all over the damn place, but how do you feel about Donald Trump's buddy there, Vince McMahon, still deciding to go along with the Crown Jewel event, even though all this shit that's gone down with Khashoggi? Like, it's pretty much tone deaf as all hell, but here's the fucked up part. Those 4 events that he's had in Saudi Arabia basically made him more money than about 7 World WrestleManias combined. So it's a business deal, but what are your thoughts on that?
Hey, man, Kush, thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it, man, and don't you worry, you can bounce around. I just appreciate good phone calls and people just speaking their mind, brother. Guys, man, make sure we're live. Dude, I don't respect Vince McMahon for doing it. You know, I don't. I mean, don't get it. You know, he's making a lot of money doing the Saudi Arabia deal, right? But he's already making a lot of money. That's what gets me about these people, man. Why do you have to do the thing that makes it obvious that you're a scumbag piece of garbage? You're already rich. Like, why do you have to go? I'm telling you guys, I think it's a sickness. It's a disease of the mind, where you're already well off. You already make. Vince McMahon probably already makes in a week what the average American makes in a year. Right? Am I being like pretty reasonable there? Right? So why would he need to do this? Now, do I dislike him or have less respect for him than I did before this Khashoggi incident? No. Because we knew what Saudi Arabia was doing, and he was working with him before this. So, hey. My problems with Saudi Arabia extend beyond, they predate Khashoggi being cut into pieces. Okay? My problems with Saudi Arabia, they go back They go back with human rights violations. They go back with Yemen. They go even before then, okay? Saudi Arabia has been wreaking havoc across the Middle East for years, and they've been doing it with the backing, the full support of not only the U.S., but also what is it, France, Canada? It's like a group of countries, these Western countries, and we're leading the way. Don't get it twisted. We're leading the way, but they got the support. I think it's the UK. It's the UK as well. So that's my beef, man. That's my beef, brother. But I appreciate the phone call. Let me give a shout out to Schultzy100. Thank you, Schultzy100, for the super chat donation. I appreciate you, Schultzy. Now, Schultzy said this. Schultzy said, Tim, I think it's good to express your grievances. As long as you're being honest about it, I appreciate the sincerity, and the humor's pretty good too. Well, yeah, man, Schultzy, I'm definitely being honest about it. There's no other way to be. There's no reason to lie about anything. Like I said, this is just my point of view. This is my experience. This is what's happening to me. Independent media is a tough-ass business, man. There are a lot of other things you could do in life that are a lot easier. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's like start a media company. And it's like put out this content and like be judged every day in every video and like work your ass off on social media. So believe me, brother, it's a hard job. I love it though, but it's not easy, and I wouldn't lie about it. And yeah, I hope some of it's funny. Also want to shout out Jack Backcountry. Now Jack gave a super chat donation. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having my back, Jack. And Jack said, we will only win when we unstigmatize socialism. Jack went on to say, socialism is when we give the surplus to the worker. That's what I'm talking about. And I believe, my friend Jack, I believe that we should support workers. I believe that programs, why be in a country, right? Why live in a country, one of the richest countries in the world? Why live in one of the richest countries in the existence of the world, right? In the history of the world. And have people living beneath the poverty line, people barely getting by, people who can't afford their medication, people who can't afford an education, people who can't afford to take care of their kids, people who can't afford to live indoors. Why? What's good about living in that place if most of the people or a large amount of the people are barely getting by and are struggling? I don't understand where these people come from that are like, yeah, it's okay, and they blame people who are having the hardest time. I don't get it. Now I understand the media puts out these ideas. I have this perception that people support the system that leaves so many people vulnerable, that leaves so many people left out. But I'm not so certain if everyone feels that way. And of the people that do feel that it's okay, that we have so many people who are living so badly, right, in the richest country in the world, I think those people have been misinformed, and those people blame the people that are struggling because of what they watch on TV, because of what they read in the newspaper, because of what they read on these websites, because of all that propaganda is the reason why they think the way they think. And I always try, man, Jack, I always try to say, you know what? I think that if people were given the right information, they'd have a different opinion. Like, you can feel a certain way about a person. But once you understand what they've been through, once you understand where they come from, you have an empathy for them. And what our propaganda does very well is it dehumanizes people. It only shows you the worst parts of people, or the part they want you to see in order to help you formulate the opinion they want you to have. That's what propaganda does. It pushes you down a belief system based on using technology or based on using literature or audio or newspapers or whatever, using some type of messaging to push your brain down this corridor of deceit. You know? They want you to believe this thing. So I believe, Jack, that that's what they do. And I try to remember always. I get pissed off a lot, guys. I'm volatile. I ain't somebody that takes it easy. I'm not a sit back and just watch things unfold kind of guy. I'm not a, well, is that live and let live, like, their life's bad, but what the hell? Like, I'm not that guy. I'm an active person. I'm proactive. I'm an extrovert, and I get at it, okay? I go after it. I'm aggressive. I want what I want, and I fight for what I believe in, okay? But I try to remind myself that most people are decent people. I just try to remind myself of that. And sometimes I have to reel myself back in, man, and say, even the rant I went on earlier, I'm fucking humbled, man, that anybody gives a shit about what I do enough to be pissed off about me. You know? So I am humbled that anybody cares about what I say enough that they would be mad that they couldn't watch my show. That's a humbling feeling. But even those people got to understand, this shit ain't free and it ain't easy to keep it going. Because if not, it goes away. And then you got Cenk Uygur. You want to be left with Cenk Uygur? You know? Everybody can't be on TYT. Everybody can't be on Ring of Fire. We need some independent people. We need to matter too. All right. So thank you for those comments. I appreciate you. Hey, Christine, how you doing, Christine? Hey, thank you, Christine. I want to thank Christine W. for her donation on Super Chat. I appreciate you, Christine. I do appreciate you. Man, look. So we talked about Megyn Kelly. Somebody sent me a clip. It was my man, Brian Villanova. I hope I'm pronouncing the last name right. Brian V. And I'm going to get to this video, man. Because what they're doing is so appalling, guys. This Brett Kavanaugh thing has really got people tripping. They really are tripping. They believe that they can defend Brett Kavanaugh at any means necessary. And I do mean any means necessary. They are using all types of historically horrible things that happen to black people to defend Brett Kavanaugh, guys. I'm going to do a video on it, and it's going to blow your mind what these people are doing. It's also going to blow your mind that there are former fake Bernie supporters who are pushing this bullshit too. Oh, yeah, man. The fake Bernie supporters, they never really were on board with Bernie. They just saw this ship floating by. And they said, I'm going to jump on the ship. Those people. And don't get me wrong, I talked about Bernie, and it helped me reach more people. But what people don't understand, and I try to tell people this, talking about politics hurt. It hurt me. It hurt what I do. Because it split up my audience. I didn't always talk about politics. I talked about things that happened in the world. I talked about pop culture in the news, right? But when I start talking about politics, guys, you know what happens. How many of you guys talk about politics around your friends? What happens? What happens if you talk about politics with your friends and your family? People leave, right? Well, that's what happened to me, okay? So, but back to my point, guys. All I'm trying to tell you is there's some people who jumped on the Bernie train and then they jumped on the Trump train. And they did both for the same reasons. That's what they did. And I'm not talking about people who just have in their mind. See, this is business that they're doing. I'm not talking about people who, if you're a regular person who doesn't make content for a living, who don't do political discourse for a living, commentary, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You're just a person who has an opinion and you use social media. That's different. You're not making money. You're not selling t-shirts and mugs. You're just believe something or you don't believe it. And I'm just telling you guys, there's a lot of fakery and fuckery and flirting filth going on, man. And what I'm seeing people do with this Brett Kavanaugh thing, it's really got me pumped up, man. I can't wait to put out some content about this. I'm going to tear down the roof. I'm going to let that ass have it. I'm going to get at it. You understand? That's what I'm going to do. Hey, man, I hope you guys are here for it. So anyway, guys, they got this new thing on YouTube, right? This new thing on YouTube where you can become a member of Tim Black's Wolfpack right on YouTube, right? All I can tell you is there's some things I'm going to be doing that are going to be fun as shit. Like, see, when I look, me changing up my Facebook stuff, don't worry. I got stuff I want to do. I want my own newsletter. That's right. I want a newsletter. Right? I'm going to put out a newsletter to the Tim Black Wolfpack that gives you all the best videos on political topics and pop culture and all that stuff, plus article links that we give out. That's one thing I want to do. It's going to be called the Tim Black Wolfpack Newsletter. TB Wolfpack Newsletter. The Wolfpack Newsletter. The Wolfpacker. the Wolfpacker. Right? We're going to come up with a name with it, right? A name for it, right? Then we're going to create a Facebook group. A Facebook group, because we don't have one. We don't have a Facebook group. All right? And we're going to create a Reddit group, a subreddit. We're going to work on getting a subreddit. I don't even know how to get a Reddit subreddit. I don't know how to get a subreddit. But I'm going to get one. There's so much that we haven't done that we need to do on all these platforms. But the main thing will be building out TimBlackTV.com, building out my own stuff. Because I have learned that you really gotta be for self. You really gotta work on your own ish. So guys, I just want you to know you can become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, and then we're gonna have some new stuff coming. And I'm gonna do my best to set up a team and to have people do stuff. And I got great moderators, man. I got Truth Can't Be Silenced. I got Martarama. We got where the hell is Momo? Did Momo quit? Momo, I haven't talked to Momo in so long. Like, I had some great moderators to help the channel. We're going to grow that and open that up and get some other people an opportunity who've been with me all this time, man. Maybe like Jilly Love. Maybe Jilly Love want to do something, or maybe Christine wants to do something, or maybe I don't know, Ginger Liberty wants to do something. I don't know. There are different people. There's so many people that help the show. So just hang in there with me, and just know I'm not quitting. We're going to go up because I'm going to fight and scratch and scrape, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to improve, and we're going to make cutting edge stuff, and we're going to make something great together. And also, we're going to take down some people, because some people need to get their ass taken down. Right? And when I say that, I don't mean focusing all my attention on Cenk Uygur either. Man, Cenk pissed me off because I was on Twitter. Twitter is my most active platform, and I saw that tweet that he put out, and it pissed me off. It was like 2 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell is this I'm looking at? How the hell is he sending this out? I gotta get, but there are bigger fish to fry. Don't get it twisted. There are bigger fish to fry. There's some people in CNN's land, people on MSNBC, people on Fox News that I want to shut down, that I'm going to challenge, that I'm going to respond to. And look, and please guys, don't do Tim, we don't want to be fighting. We need to unite. We are public people. Public people can criticize other public people. It's not good for public people to criticize non-public people because that's bullying, right? It can't be bullying, right? I had to learn that I'm a public person. So I have to be careful even when people attack me if I strike back. Because it's one thing for me to strike back, but then 100 people behind me strike back on them, and then it looks like bullying. So I had to learn that I had to be careful when I respond. But when it comes to public people, People like Cenk Uygur, people like David Pacman, or people like Sam Cedar, or big people like Rachel Maddow, or Chris Hayes, or, you know, Bill O'Reilly, or Tucker Carlson, or these big names, Laura Ingraham. Man, please. Please. I'm punching up, not down. Come on, man. So, and we need to punch up at these people. These people are lying to the world. You understand me? These people are lying to the world. They got people believing lies. They got people believing falsehoods that damage them, that are not in their best interest, that take food off their table, water out of their mouths, you know, that take happiness out of their lives, that take possibility and hope away from them, out of their grasp of their hands, with lies through propaganda. They got people voting against their own best interest. And we must take them down, because their networks ain't going to shut them up. The networks are going to do whatever's in their interest of them and their donors, right? So it's our job to take them down, man. That's what we have to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what we better do. And if we ain't got the guts to do that, and we don't have the guts to stand up to powerful people, and we won't challenge the status quo, and we won't be afraid, and we're going to be afraid to make a few enemies, and we're going to be afraid to piss a few people off, well then we don't need to be in this business. And we damn sure don't need to be calling ourselves independent media. We damn sure don't need to be saying that we stand up for the people. And when it's time to stand up for the people, all we doing is falling in line. All we doing is pulling our punches or being worried about being talked about. Now, I don't risk my name and my brand on everything, but I do put it to the test when it comes to speaking truth to power against the powerful. That I do. So we got to do that. We got to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. They get too much money to do it. The only people that are willing to risk it all are the poor people, man. The poor people risk it all. Only poor people do the dumb shit we do, which is speak truth to power. Ain't no rich people speaking truth to power. Because their money will go away. See, rich people, they're not going to do it. People complaining about Megyn Kelly getting fired. She getting $20 million buyout. The hell you worried about Megyn Kelly for? You been worried about next door neighbor Kelly, who ain't getting nothing. You know? These people worried about Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly ain't worried about you. She ain't worried about you. She can care less about you, man. What's wrong with these people? I'm worried about Megyn Kelly. They did her wrong. They shouldn't have did Megyn Kelly like that. What? They shouldn't have did Megyn Kelly like that. They shouldn't have did the Yemenis people like that. They shouldn't have done the Dakotas and the Lakotas like that. What are you talking about? Should have did Megyn Kelly like that. And there's a sister still in jail over the damn Dakota Access Pipeline, and you talking to me about fucking Megyn Kelly? Man, I'd have reached out and touched you, and not in a good way. That water buffalo bastard Cenk Uygur is up there complaining about Megyn Kelly losing the job. You know how many Americans lost their job last year? You know how many Americans have it bad who are struggling? You know how many veterans sleep on the street? He more concerned. He up at 2 a.m. tweeting about fucking Megyn Kelly getting a $20 million buyout. Pisses me off, man. When you really start thinking about stuff. See, that's what happens. Sometimes I really start thinking about stuff. It starts really getting me pissed off, man. It really starts to like, oh man, you know, it's like you're a little upset. Then you think about it, it's like, yeah, this is, what the, hey, and before you know it, you're ready to throw stuff against the wall, drop a bunch of F-bombs, you know what I'm saying? Because it really sinks in how hypocritical people are. And you're like, man, you know, I need to calm down for somebody need to go to the hospital. I'm trying to tell y'all that's what happens. That's what happens. But I love who I am. I love what I do, and I love you guys, and I appreciate you for being here, for spending your Friday evening with me. And look, I want you to know, like, I was pissed off. I started the show pretty pissed off, but I want you guys to know, man, I am very humbled. I'm very humbled that there are people who spend their Friday with me. All right? That there are people who take time out their lives, man, for what this old black guy got to say about stuff. So I want to thank you for having my back and supporting this show and being cool folks, man, and for defending me like you do, and you know who you guys are, right? For not using me, you know, just as your own stepping stone. Believe me, that's been happening a lot to me lately. I want to thank you for those people who haven't done that, who actually are my friends, who are in small in number but large in heart. And I want to thank you for all that you do, and know that I know who my friends are, and I know who I can count on, and I value you more than you know. And I will not disappoint you, and I will not quit, and I will not lose without a hell of a fight. That's what I can guarantee you. I'm going to give it my best, and we're going to do our best, and we're going to work together. So I just want you to know that. So look, guys. All right, stop with the sappy shit, man. Stop it. Have a great weekend. Love your kids. Hug your kids. All right? Also this. I have been smoke-free for 6 weeks. I have been smoke-free before. Well, this is my first time quitting. If you know me, you know I quit often. Okay? It's a fight that I wish I never picked up a cigarette ever in my life. I didn't do so till I was 25. At that time, I had a roommate who smoked, and I had no idea I would get hooked on cigarettes, and I did. But it's been a fight ever since. Anyone who's interested in quitting, please do it. Once you get past the first few days, it gets much easier, and you breathe clearer as time goes on. So I want to encourage you to do this. Now, I'm not saying you won't get hit by a bus. I'm not saying you won't get hit by a bus. You might quit smoking and get hit by a bus and be like, damn it, I knew I should have kept smoking. But what I'm telling you is, just in case you don't get hit by a bus, maybe you should quit smoking. Just in case. Because your mind tells you stuff like that, like, I don't need to quit. Man, I'll probably get hit by a bus. What I'm quitting for? I'll probably get a pipe bomb in the mail. What I need to quit for? What if you don't get a pipe bomb in the mail? Oh, damn, I didn't think about that part. So, anyway, guys, all joking aside, I want the best for you. I want the best for myself. And they say that a friend is someone who wants for you what they want for themselves. I wish you happiness, wellness, and peace. All right? And I wish you a great weekend. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you again next week. Please check the YouTube channel. If you have Roku, please find Tim Black TV on your Roku box. I will be there. Trust me, I'm there. Look me up. Also, guys, look for me on Instagram as Tim Black at Night. Tim Black at Night. I'm on Twitter and Facebook as Real Tim Black. Until we speak again, remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread, and don't be arguing with folks. Don't be belittling folks. Just sprinkle some facts on them. Next time, people. Next time.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. Truth. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.